on that. Let's move on to Nancy Mace. We've talked about her on our show a couple
Oh,
of times.
yo.
And for anybody that hasn't been paying attention, Nancy Mace, she's definitely going farther right as the months click on. But her entire staff just quit. Like her
Brother man.
entire staff left.
Past episodes, I have said, and I don't mean to be an asshole and come off as machismo.
Oh no, please.
But I've always called her this bitch.
Yes, you have.
This bitch literally fired her chief of staff in December. Before Christmas, this motherfucker now is turning around and he's running against her in South Carolina. He is now challenging her. The entire staff left her since November 1st.
To go work for him.
Period. Out. And they're like, there's no NDA. They're like, we're spilling the tea. They're putting everything out there. They said that she was calling them pretty much on Christmas Day. Talking about, why are you not putting me on TV? Why am I not on TV? I need to be in front of the camera. She is a clout chaser. That's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's it. I mean, but it's one of those things, like, we can see it. But when you have the receipts, when you have the people who were there putting in the work, and they're like, nah, man, this is not the real deal. This thing is just chasing for it.
But that's so many Republicans, man. Like, that ends up being so many of them. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she got started chasing a fucking 19-year-old school shooting victim.
Right.
You know, Lauren Boebert, she got her start standing on a court steps telling Beto that he's not going to take her assault rifles. Like, all these clowns got started by some stupid PR stunt. It wasn't, they didn't work their way up. No. Are you kidding me?
No, they are the equivalent of failing upward. They are.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, which is going to be quite interesting to see how it plays out. But in general, for the receipts to come out, and Daily Beast broke that story, and now everybody's picking up on it. It's like, I wonder how they're going to try to spin it, whatever the case is. But it's like, the jig is up.
How her new staff is going to spin it.
Wow. How long will they last? Like, let's set the clock on that one. All right.
Yeah, it's not going to be long.
Let's see how you do.
Yeah, it's not going to be long. Well, you know, it's disappointing, because when we talked about her initially, you know, we said that she actually had a resume behind her.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't seem like she was going to be an empty suit. And it's just really unfortunate to see that she really is just another clout chasing, Republican.
Is this who you are when you get to the Hill, or does the Hill make you this? You know,
man, that's so funny. I got a DM from a friend of mine yesterday, and he was talking about, it's crazy how money changes people. It's crazy how influence changes people.
Yeah. And
we were both kind of like, if that ever happens for us, really hope that we don't ever, go down that road, go down that rabbit hole. But some people, it's just like when they get that power, they get that, that money, that they realize how much money they can truly get out of running for office. Yes, unfortunately, some people, it brings out their true colors, and turns out they weren't doing it for the right reasons.
Power corrupts, absolutely. That's
saying. That's true too, but I always look at it like from a different perspective. I look at it from a service standpoint. And when you join the military, I think there's people that do it for the wrong reasons, and there's people that do it for the right reasons. And I mean that by, there are people that go in because they don't have any other options, and that isn't necessarily the best reason to join. And then there's people that go in like me. I went in for this money to go to college because my dad couldn't afford to send me to school. And then there's the people that they join literally just because they're just patriotic as fuck, and they want to serve. And the first two are fine. The first two are good. Because if you're serving because you want the money for school, you've got to finish your term. You got to finish your 4 years. So you got to do a good job. Like, you can't fuck off. So, there's still an incentive there for you to be a good soldier. But when you join because you just feel like there's nothing else for you, then, it's not necessarily going to work out well. And I look at not just Republicans, but I look at representatives the same way. Like, you're either going into this because you want to serve the people. Like, I think of Jasmine Crockett, AOC, I think those people go into it because they really want to serve the people.
Right.
And then you have the people that just kind of stumble on it by accident, and they realize what they have. And that's what I think the Marjorie Taylor Greenes, the Boeberts, the party reaches out to these people and turns them into these monsters that they become.
Well, what I'll say is, when I think about some of the names that you dropped, they become the mascot of their party, and you literally just had the pendulum swing from AOC to Marjorie.
Yeah.
Marge, you're looking at the far extremes of both parties, right?
Yeah.
With a mansion, or which I know this is your
Cinema.
grandfather,
Yeah.
party, the Mitt Romneys, the Lady Graham, when you have these individuals that kind of teeter between the two. Looking at Fetterman, looking where he's kind of landing these days, it's quite interesting to see where they fall once they hit the hill, or whatever's going on the hill itself. This past week we watched the Republican Party literally sacrifice themselves. I know that's later on the show.